Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So as I said, this should be posted straight after the video that I just done on this topic regarding Harry and the GQ magazine interview with Patrick Hutchinson, the Black Lives Matter activist. So this is part 2. I was getting into this article. As I said, I didn't have time to go into it, so I'm gonna do it now. And the article continues, the Duke of Sussex, and that's another thing about this. He made a point, and I'm actually going to put the screenshot here, to be introduced as the Duke of Sussex. And it seems to me as though he's trying to peddle his way back to Britain. They are definitely compromised, America, with all of the truth coming out regarding their actions. And the truth is constantly being spouted on social media by journalists, by tabloids, by bloggers, YouTubers, and famous TV personalities like Piers Morgan, that they are pretty much not all that great, and they're very self-involved, and there's a touch of narcissism going on there as well. I think that they almost want to backpedal and come back to the UK because they're constantly looking at what's going on and what we're doing, etc., so on and so forth. So I'm going to read the article. The Duke of Sussex, 36, spoke about racism in an interview with Black Lives Matter activist Patrick Hutchinson for GQ magazine, and admitted his upbringing and education did not equip him to understand the issue. Well, of course, I guess it wouldn't have. He is a young, privileged, extremely privileged guy. So I'm going to continue on here. Harry said, once you realise or you feel a little bit uncomfortable, then the onus is on you to go out and educate yourself, because ignorance is no longer an excuse. And unconscious bias, from my understanding, having the upbringing and the education that I had no idea what it was. I had no idea it existed. And then, sad as it is to say, it took me many, many years to realise it, especially then living a day or a week in my wife's shoes. If he is living vicariously through Meghan, and he's using Meghan as the benchmark to summarise what experiencing racism is like, it's a poor example. This is a woman, as I said, who was ticking the Caucasian box. She went to Africa with her husband, and her actions certainly were not the actions that I've ever seen a black woman take. So how can she really be an example? So I'm going to continue on here. Harry spoke from his £11 million home in Montecito, California, during a candid chat with activist Mr. Hutchinson for the GQ Heroes conference, which runs this week. He also criticised the 25,000 complaints over a Black Lives Matter inspired dance routine on Britain's Got Talent last month, which saw a figure representing a white police officer kneeling on Ashley Banjo, echoing the killing of black man George Floyd in the US, which sparked protests. He said, we, Meghan and I, spoke to him, which he did, shortly after the whole process. But what was interesting there, from what I was told, was that there were a couple of thousand complaints that came straight after the performance. But it was 3 days later, or even a week later, that it got up to 20,000. So you start to think, well, how many people actually watched the performance that have complained? Or have they just had their opinion inflamed by what they've read? The image of superhero father Mr. Hutchinson rescuing suspected far-right protester Brian Mayle became an iconic photograph during the Black Lives Matter demonstrations. In the interview, Harry also said more stuff that has no value, but I'm going to carry on. But for men who are isolated by themselves, this can be a really dark place, unless you know the different solutions or different distractions that you can put into your life. Whether it's going for a great walk or a run, or just doing something that keeps you mentally and physically fit. I love that. Also in the interview, Mr. Hutchinson admitted he got into a few scraps with some of my friends, and Harry replied, Everyone gets themselves into trouble at some point. It's how you learn from it. Harry also gave his thoughts about saying the wrong thing after Mr. Hutchinson told him everything is up for discussion because there's so much to talk about and people need to not be afraid. The Duke said, not everyone's going to get it right, and from what I've seen, people are desperately trying to get it right, and even when trying to get it right, get it massively wrong. Harry, are you talking about yourself there? I think these are elements of Harry harping back to his own issues. He continues, and as long as everyone comes at it with an element of, as you say, compassion, because it's scary for people, and it is the case that you're probably going to get it wrong, but I guarantee you there'll be the right support structure and people around. The interview was carried out last Monday, 6 weeks after GQ approached Harry to ask him if he wanted to chat with Mr. Hutchinson as part of the magazine's coverage supporting Black History Month. Now, this is what they're saying. This is what they've released to the media. They approached him. Why would GQ have reached out to Harry when he's all the way in Santa Barbara in LA, living this fantastic new life with the Megsy? I just don't believe that part. I think that's a part of their PR, because this is exploitation. That he should have allowed Patrick Hutchinson to have the front cover on his own, because everyone knows who Patrick Hutchinson is. He has more of a profile now over here, and he has more love and respect over here than Harry could ever have. Harry should stay in Santa Barbara, and he should approach whatever men's fitness health magazines out in America. He should try and score front covers over there. We do not want to see him over here. We're not interested. I'll be back with another video, guys. Bye.